Hello, everybody. Welcome to Yoga for Self-Love with Kim. I am Kim, and this is my helper, Gussie, right here. You may see some other cameos of my other dog, Sunny, or maybe my cat, Cassidy. This will be a short, slow flow Vinyasa practice. We'll open up the hips and also bring in some balance postures. Grab a couple of yoga blocks and bring yourself into a comfortable seat. Get comfortable. Close your eyes. Root down through your sitting bones, your pubic bone, the feet, the legs. Get heavy. Lengthen up through the side body, up through the spine. Reach the crown of your head up, sitting up nice and tall, but feeling relaxed. Take a few moments here just to settle in, to arrive, to connect with your breath, and to check in and see how you're feeling today. Letting go of any judgment and just being curious about what is happening for you today. And as always, I invite you to bring in the intention to be gentle, kind, patient, loving, compassionate with yourself. And take a few nice, deep, smooth, steady breaths here. Inhaling in through the nose, filling up the torso, feeling the belly expand all the way around, the low back expand, the sides of the body expand. And then as you exhale, you feel that drawing back in towards center. Release the breath back up and out through your nose. A few more deep breaths like that, in through the nose, all the way down into the belly, expanding the abdomen all the way around. Feeling the pelvic floor soften, release down. With the exhale, gentle hug and lift of the pelvic floor, the drawing in towards center of the abdomen, the low back, the side body, releasing the breath up, out through the nose. A few more breaths. And begin to slowly call yourself back to the present moment. Begin to flutter your eyes open. Invite movement into your body. Wiggle fingers and toes. Feel free to yawn, sigh, wiggle, stretch. Find any movement that feels good in your body right now. And if you're sitting on anything, you can remove it. Let's find our way into a wide knee child's pose. You can take your knees wide towards the outer edges of your mat, big toes coming towards each other behind you, and settle your bum back towards your heels. Release your forehead down to the mat, or take a block underneath your forehead, or make a little pillow with the forearms and rest your forehead on top of the arms. A few deep breaths here, breathing into the back body, breathing down into the groins, finding some space there. And then slowly find your way onto your belly. And we'll bring the left knee out to the left side of the mat. Finding a 90-degree angle with the hip, with the knee. And breathing into the groin and the hip here on the left side, finding some opening there. We'll take that left leg back into center and now bend that right knee. Take the right knee out to the right side. Finding a 90-degree angle with the right hip, right knee. And a few deep breaths here. And then we'll bring that right leg back in. Hands come underneath the shoulders. And again, let's take it back into a wide knee child's pose. Knees wide, big toes coming towards each other. Reach the hands forward as you settle your bum back towards the heels again. We'll begin to shift the body forward. Bring your shoulders forward of your wrists, bend your elbows, and begin to lower yourself down. About halfway-ish. Press into the hands, lift up, and send your bum back to the heels. Move into a few more of these child's pose push-ups as you shift it forward. Bend the elbows, lower yourself down, and then press into the hands. Send the bum back to the heels. Nice and easy, nice and slowly. Or if you like, and you're feeling it, you're welcome to pick up the pace. Let's do one more. And then send yourself back into your child's pose. And then come up into a table. Finding all fours here. And we'll tuck the toes under. Press into the hands and send the hips up and back. Downward dog. Start with a generous bend in the knees and begin to walk out your dog, or bend and straighten the knees, or find whatever movement you like. And then bend your knees, crouch yourself down. Send the hips up and back. Press down through the fingers. Reach the heels down towards the mat. It's okay if they don't get there, just moving in that direction. Again, bend your knees and crouch yourself down. And then send the hips up and back to your downward dog. Again, bend the knees, crouch down. This time as you send your hips up and back, send that right leg up also for a three-legged dog. And we'll bend that right knee. I'm going to point it up towards the ceiling as you find some opening through that right hip. Rooting down through the hands, shoulders squaring down towards the mat. Left heel rooting down towards the mat. Then re-extend that right leg. Release that foot down to the mat. We'll bend the knees, crouch down. Now send your left leg up for a three-legged dog. Bend that left knee, begin to roll that knee up towards the ceiling. And then re-extend that leg out and release that foot down. Bend your knees, crouch down. Let's send that right leg up, three-legged dog. This time we'll bend the right knee, begin to shift forward into plank, and draw that right knee up towards that right armpit. Lower that right knee down towards that right wrist. Hug that right knee over towards that left wrist. Lift that right knee up towards that left upper arm. And then we'll send that right leg up and back. Three-legged dog. Release the foot down. Bend your knees, crouch down. Send that left leg up for a three-legged dog. We'll shift it forward, finding plank, taking that left knee to that left armpit. Lower that left knee down towards that left wrist. Hug that left knee over towards the right wrist. And then we'll lift that left knee up towards that right upper arm. Send that left leg up and back, three-legged dog, and release that foot down. Walk, step, or float yourself up to the top of your mat. Forward fold. Belly rests on the thighs. Let your head go. Shake or nod the head, rock the hips. Maybe swing the arms. You could grab the elbows if you like, or just bring the hands down to the mat. Maybe trail the hands along your mat as if you were sifting through sand or water. And then we'll take hands to the hips, press into your feet, and lift yourself up, coming all the way up to stand. Soften the knees and take the weight now into that left foot. Begin to draw that right knee up towards the chest, and then reach that right knee out towards the right side. Bring that right knee down towards the midline to meet the left knee. So that right foot will be back behind you now. And then we'll circle this right knee around. Draw the right knee up. Take it out to the right side. Bring that right knee back to the midline with that right foot out behind you. Couple more times moving it in this direction. And then we'll switch directions. You can draw that right knee up towards the chest. Now bring that right knee down towards the midline, then out to the right side. And then you circle the knee around in this direction a few times. Find your focal point, your gazing point. Maybe you point on the wall or the floor to help you with your balance. And then we'll release that right foot down to the mat. Do the same thing on the other side. Soften your knees, root down into that right foot. Draw that left knee up towards the chest. Open that left knee out to the left side. Bring that left knee back to the midline to meet that right knee, left foot out to the side. And then we'll draw that knee up. Circle the knee around in this direction a few more times. Keep breathing. Notice if you feel yourself holding your breath, and breathe. And then we'll switch the direction. Roll the knee around in this direction a few times. And then release that right foot down to the mat. So reach the arms up, palms come together overhead. Soften your knees, fold yourself in, forward fold, and then we'll take it halfway up, flat back, Ardha Uttanasana. Fold yourself in, take your hands down to the mat and step yourself back to plank. From your plank, lower knees down to the mat and lower all the way down to the belly. Pubic bone, pelvis, torso. Press into your fingers, toes, lift your heart up, baby cobra. And then release down, tuck your toes under, send your hips up and back to your downward dog. Step or hop it up, top of your mat, fold yourself in, and then halfway lift, flat back. Fold it in, press into the earth, rise up, palms together overhead, hands come back to meet at the heart. Reach up, fold it in, halfway up, flat back. Plant the hands, step back to plank. Drop the knees down. Lower yourself all the way down. Lift up the heart, baby cobra. Maybe if you feel ready, press into the hands and lift your heart up a little higher for a full cobra. And then release yourself down, tuck your toes under, press into the hands and glide the hips up and back. From your downward dog, crouch down. And we'll send the right leg up, three-legged dog. Bend the right knee, bring it forward into your chest, core plank. Step that right foot through to that right thumb. Turn and drop that left foot to the mat, toes out to the side. Bend both knees, press down into the earth. Lift up and open towards the long edge of the mat. Bend the right knee, arms wide. Warrior two. Take hands to the mat, step yourself back into your plank. And now you either drop knees down, come down to your belly, move it through your cobra, or if you like, roll it forward on the toes, bend the elbows, lower yourself about halfway down, chaturanga, then come onto the tops of the feet. Keep the thighs lifted, pull the heart forward as you find your up dog. We'll meet back in downward dog. Crouch it down, now send that left leg up. Bend that left knee, take it forward, core plank. Step that left foot through. Turn and drop that right foot, toes out to the long edge of the mat. Bend both knees, press down into the earth, lift up and open towards the long edge of the mat. Arms reach out for your warrior two. Hands come back down to the mat, you step it back. into your plank. Find your vinyasa here. Whatever variation calls to you today, or you skip the vinyasa and meet back in downward dog. Step or hop up, top of your mat. Fold yourself in, halfway up to your flat back. Fold it in, press into the earth, rise up, palms together. Hands come back to your heart. Reach up, fold it in, halfway lift. Plant hands to the mat, step it back to plank. Find your flow. We'll meet back in downward dog. Bend your knees, crouch down, send that left leg up, three-legged dog. Bend that left knee, shift it forward, and step that left foot through again. Drop the right foot, toes out to the side, bend the knees, root down into the earth, lift up, open it back into your warrior two. And then we'll take hands down to the mat, step it back into plank. Find your flow. Meeting in downward dog, other side, crouch down. Right leg lifts, bend the right knee, shift forward. Step right foot through, drop that left foot, soften both knees. Root down as you rise up. Bend the right knee. Arms reach wide. Warrior two. Hands down to the mat. Step it back to plank. Move through your vinyasa. This time from your downward dog, walk your hands back to meet your feet. Coming into forward fold at the back of your mat. Hands to the hips, soften the knees, come all the way up to stand. Soften the knees again. Root down into that left foot. We'll draw that right knee up towards the chest. Open that right knee out to the right side. And now begin to place that right foot on that upper left thigh or the calf. Stepping into tree pose here. Can keep hands on the hips. Could reach the arms out or maybe up or palms together overhead. And again, find your drishti, focal point, gazing point. And check in with your breath. And notice the adjustments, calibrations and recalibrations that you're making down through the foot, the ankle, the leg. And let's bring palms down to the heart or back to the hips. Release that right foot down to the mat. Soften the knees and now take weight into that right foot. Draw that left knee up towards the chest. Open that left knee out to the side. Take that left foot to that right inner thigh or calf. You find your variation with the arms here. And then release the arms down. Release that left foot down. Let's bring the arms up. Soften the knees, fold yourself in, and now we'll walk out to downward dog. Crouch down into your tiger dog, and now send the right leg up again for three-legged dog. Now we'll bend the right knee, and this time shift yourself forward, step that right foot outside of your right hand. You can turn the right toes out an angle. And then we'll lower that left knee down to the mat. Can keep the back toes tucked or untuck the back toes. So take it into a lizard here. Walk your hands over towards the left side of your mat. You can stay up on the hands, or you could come down onto your forearms, or maybe take a block or two blocks underneath the forearms. You can keep that right foot pressing down to the mat, or if you like, you could roll onto the pinky toe side of that right foot to get a little bit deeper into the hips. Few breaths. And then we'll come back up onto the hands if you're down on the forearms. Walk that right foot back in towards the center of the mat. Tuck your back toes under and step back into your downward dog. We'll do the same thing on the other side. Now crouch down, send your left leg up, three-legged dog. Bend that left knee, begin to come forward and step that left foot now outside of the left hand. You can angle the left toes out to the left side. Lower that right knee down to the mat. Walk your hands over towards the right side of your mat. Stay just like this up on the hands, or you can lower the forearms down onto a block or all the way down to the mat. And again, if you like, you could roll up onto the pinky toe side of that left foot. Just go a little bit deeper. But as always, you see what feels okay for you, for your body. Few deep breaths here. And then we'll come back up onto the hands. Walk the hands back in towards the center of the mat as you wiggle that left foot back in. Tuck your back toes under and step yourself back into your downward dog. Find what you need here. Pedal out the legs. Bend straight in the knees. Find stillness if that's what you like. And then we'll lower knees down to the mat. Let's take the knees wide again. Coming back through our wide knee child's pose. Bum back to the heels. Release your forehead down to the mat. If you like, you can flip the palms up to face the ceiling. Give the wrists a little release here. Or you could bring the arms alongside the feet and the shins for a relaxed child's. Bring the hands back underneath the shoulders. Press yourself all the way up. Bring yourself into a comfortable seat. Bring your palms together at your heart. May you feel safe. May you be healthy. May you be happy. May you live with ease. May your heart be open to love, compassion, and may you know joy. Thank you so very much for sharing your practice with me today. With love and gratitude, namaste.